Looks like spyware is coming for us all, with even the M&Ms vending machines wanting a slice of our data. This was a post on the University of Waterloo subreddit from 15 days ago, where a student noticed that the M&Ms vending machines on campus had facial recognition. So you can see here there's a picture of the machine, and suddenly an application error. Invenda.vending.facialrecognition.app.exe. Some kind of error occurred. The exception, unknown software exception, blah, occurred in the application at location, blah. So even the vending machines have some kind of facial recognition in them for some reason. Here is a news article about it. This is the University of Waterloo. And interestingly enough, here's the camera hole. So this is the peephole where the camera was supposedly located. But it looks a bit strange, right? This hole isn't perfectly circular. You'd think that if the machine were manufactured this way, that, the hole would be a bit more precise. The machine would be able to very clearly make a round hole, but this looks like it was put in after the original manufacture. I guess maybe the reseller or whoever is maintaining, or not the maintenance personnel, rather the company that's responsible for deploying these machines. I guess they want a bit more data that they can sell to try to get some more profit out of these. These vending machines really went. So the company involved is Invenda. They advertise their use of demographic detection software, which says it can determine gender and age of customers. It claims the technology is compliant with GDPR, which is the EU's privacy standards, but it's unclear whether it meets the Canadian equivalents. A quote from a student: "We wouldn't have known if it weren't for the application error. There's no warning here," says a student who investigated the machines for an article in the university publication. And yeah, if you look at the vending machine itself, right, this image is very clearly zoomed in quite a lot, right? This hole is tiny. If you go back to the actual vending machine, there it is. It's just a few pixels right there. It's not something that the average person would notice and think that the machine is collecting from them. And this is kind of concerning because it seems like just about every single company is trying to somehow collect even more data about its customers that they say they use for whatever purposes, but I think they all just want to sell. I mean, the next paragraph in this article says, Canadian Tire was found to have violated some privacy laws in BC after they used some facial recognition technology without notifying customers. And just by looking around at it, clicking around, this article is on The Guardian. Here's another article from the very same day, February 23rd. This one's also published on February 23rd. In the UK, some company was also ordered to stop using facial recognition technology to monitor staff, where apparently biometric data of more than 2,000 staff at 38 leisure centers was unlawfully processed to check attendance. So this doesn't seem like a very isolated incident. I mean, here's another news article from 2020, also in Canada. A privacy investigation found that 5 million shoppers' images were collected at various malls across Canada. And there's a big list of malls that were affected, because they're all owned by CF, Cadillac Fairview, by the looks of it. And they were supposedly just using it to analyze the age and gender of shoppers, and that they weren't using it to identify individuals. But, realistically, they could make a lot more money with this data by using it for other means. Selling it to advertisers, trying to pinpoint people's patterns and see what kind of advertising works, just so they can extract as much money as possible out of every single person that enters their facilities. But let's go to the university newspaper. They have this entire section. I'm not going to read it verbatim. I will leave a link to it, so go read it yourself. Show the newspaper some love. This newspaper reached out to the company that's responsible for these machines, and here's what they had to say. This is a response from their founder and executive chairman. As the producer of the Invenda IoT solution, the Invenda Smart Vending Machine and its associated software, we formally warrant that the demographic detection software integrated into the Smart Vending Machine operates entirely locally. It does not engage in storage, communication, or transmission of any imagery or personally identifiable information. The software conducts local processing of digital image maps derived from the USB optical sensor in real time without storing such data on permanent memory mediums or transmitting it over the internet to the cloud. And they go on to say, it is imperative to note that Invenda software does not possess the capability to recognize any individual's identity or any other form of personal information. Further, Invenda Smart Vending Machines and its software are compliant with GDPR and equivalent data privacy policies. So this part of the claim, at least, should be verifiable, that the software only uses the images locally and doesn't store them or send them to the cloud. You know, if you're able to take the machine apart, which you might actually not be able to do. I'm no expert in the vending machine industry, but I imagine these licenses that they have, or, you know, whatever business arrangement they have to install these vending machines, probably doesn't include being able to take them apart. But, you know, if someone were to do that, I think they'd be able to see, you know, what kind of memory is on the device. You know, storing pictures takes a reasonable amount of, well, storage, right? If it's something like a Raspberry Pi running off of a 2 gigabyte SD card, then it's pretty unlikely that it's going to be storing all of these images. And likewise, transmitting it over the internet to the cloud, you could probably analyze the traffic coming in and out of the vending machine. You know, even if it's encrypted, a vending machine, I imagine, doesn't transmit that much data. So, you know, if there were 4 megabytes of information sent per each transaction, then that would be a bit suspicious. But if it's, you know, just sending, hey, this person, or rather, someone purchased this kind of item, that's what, just a few bytes, maybe a few kilobytes at most. Just by looking at the amount of information there, hopefully you should be able to determine whether or not it's actually doing that, whether or not these claims are true. But at the end of the day, I think they summarize this most effectively. No one needs M&Ms cameras. Thanks for watching.